just giving a prelude to the education, new education policy. Also, it's NEP. It's called National Education Policy, also called New Education Policy. If you look at the history of education in India, India had a best education system initially during the early stage of human civilization. We had a system called Gurukulas. The Gurukulas is to teach only to those students who have a strong desire to learn. There's an entrance test for the student for admission to the school. The first test was the student who want to get into the education system has to work in the Gurukula for 1 year.
Volume is little less. Volume
is less, huh?
No, it's clear. It's clear, man.
Clear now?
It's clear. Quite clear, yeah.
I was talking about the Indian education system where entrance test. A student has to work in Gurukula for 1 year. So what happens in the 1 year is a teacher can understand assessment of the student whether he is capable of learning. A student also can understand whether the teacher is good or bad, whether he can learn from him also. After completing 1 year, he has to undergo another test where the student is asked to cleanly shave his head, and teacher is to bring hot, this Tamrata Patra, copper vessel, and put it in his head. He has to undergo that. If student is willing for that, then he will be taken for the next level. Teacher will not keep hot vessel on his head, but the student should be mentally prepared. It's called Shraddhavan Lagate Jnana. Once we have the strong desire to learn, then only he will be eligible for getting education. But the British government has completely destroyed this Gurukula system. One of the great damage done to the India was destroying this education system, brought in called new education, that English education system. That is, even still today we have that 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 education system. This education system initially was run by government. Later, it was started by temples, philanthropists for a long period of time. Churches, temples, masjidis has to run that. At a later stage, I think around after 80s, the social entrepreneurs like Time Pai, Vinay Hegde, Virendra Hegde started colleges in a very impactful way. But last 10 years, what happened was the school colleges were started by politicians, real estate contractors, all kinds of businessmen. So the entire education system was polluted. For this new generation of school management is they build world class buildings, second class library, and they hire third class teachers. That is their philosophy. They want to build palatial buildings. They build good libraries also, but teachers, they don't do invest. So because of that, our entire system, education system was completely destroyed. We're at a very pathetic situation. So in the right context, the present government has brought in new education system. In the new education system, focus was more on, it's a very lengthy document. I think I was given 20 minutes. How much time is given?
Yeah, it's 20 minutes, sir, but you can take these. Yeah.
So in the 20-minute, I'll only cover some of the highlights. I'm sure most of you are aware about some of the basics. The vision of the new education policies is to contribute to the equitable and vibrant society by providing high quality education to all. I don't know the name, some of the schools which are coming up in India is called 5-star schools and colleges, where the toilet is also AC, buses, everything is air conditioned. One segment. At the same time, we have other students who study, go to a college where there is no desk, benches to sit. So, but this education policy says that equity, everybody should get equal quality of education. There is no discrimination at all. Second is to develop a deep sense of respect towards fundamental rights, duties, constitutional values, bondings, and patriotism. Everybody talks today about patriotism. The student should know in the early stage about what is his right, what is his duties, and how to live in a society without disturbing others. This kind of values are taught in the beginning only. Instill skills, values, and disposition that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development, and living and global well-being. These are some of the few visions. And key principles of NEP is respect for diversity and local context. Unfortunately, in Karnataka also, the basic education and primary educations are delivered in English medium school. That is, people have love for English medium. Even in village areas also, if a student is taught in a foreign language or a language which is not familiar to him or her, his understanding of the concept is very low. So in most of the foreign countries, till fifth standard, the learning has to happen in the mother tongue or the local language. It is compulsory, and you must study in a place where is born only. That is another condition. So we have in large number of primary schools are English medium now. Whether somebody speaks Tudu or any language, mother tongue, but he was made to learn in English. So that has created the creativity also. Equity and inclusion as the cornerstone of all the educational decisions in the new education policies. Equitable opportunity for everybody, and everybody is included in it. So education for all, that is the kind of principle they have. And community participation. So if you look at the stakeholders of education, parents, society, government, teachers, employers, all are responsible. Now what is happening is they're kept aloof. So employers are not participating in the education decisions. Parents are not taking part. Only the policymakers and school management take a decision. Now the new policy says everybody should take part in the decision. Use of technology, I think we're all, because of the COVID now, we're aware about it. If you look at the delivery of education, initially when Ramayana time, they all know that Rama is to go to the Guru, where Guru is there, people is to go there. During Krishna's Dwapara time, Guru is to come to student place. In Kali Yugas, what happened was neither the teacher goes to the student house, nor student go to teacher's house. Both find a common place called school. Now, recently what happened is teacher sits in his own home, student also sits in his own home, they learn. Teaching and learning happens in their own home. So in this will continue for a longer time. The palatial buildings of the present education system, I don't know, maybe not relevant much. The use of technology, digital technology, then emphasize on conceptual understanding rather than focusing more on information, say conceptual clarity. For example, we only tell what it is. We don't tell them why it is. Like sun is red during sunrise, it's red at sunset also. During daytime, it is white. Why it is happening? If student asks a teacher, he maybe most of us may not be able to explain why it happens. Or a fruit is green when it's not ripe and it becomes yellow when it is ripe. Why it happening? So understanding the concept and why, asking a question, why is very important, and this new curriculum brings all those things. And unique capability, recognizing, identifying them in each student. So present evaluation system is only on the marks, read, remember, and write. They don't recognize other capabilities. When you get a scorecard or we call it the credit system or grade sheet, it only talks about how much mark you scored. It doesn't talk about, it doesn't document, it doesn't capture some of the unique talent somebody brings into the a candidate has. You are not able to capture that. So if you look at the new document, new education document, it says 360-degree assessment of a candidate. It is not just a scoring in the marks. His behavior, his talent has to be assessed and it should be captured in his report card. The word critical thinking comes around 150 times in the new education policy. So in the present education system, if a student goes to class, they stop thinking. New education policy says during the class hours, they must start thinking. Critical thinking is again questioning, logical decision making, and innovation. So the Prime Minister says coding should happen in the primary school. This is the kind of initiatives taken in the new education policy. Continuous review. Now what is happening is exams conducted at the end of the semester or in the end of the year. So most of the time student will prepare at the end of the year and they mug up and get a good score. But this system, new system says every week, every month, student performance is based. It is a database is built and is performance evaluated based on the continuous assessment. I'm only talking about some of the key aspects of the education policy. One of the very, very important aspect of new education policy is universal access to early childhood care and education. We call it as the formative age. The children of 3 to 6 years access to free, safe, high quality education we call it as a Balavatika or preschool. There's a time where student looks at so many things with a lot of curiosity and try to build this kind of personality. So a lot of very, very interesting initiatives taken during this early stage of learning. This I told that universal to all, then expected outcome. Universalization of SS, education to everybody from early stage to secondary, because there is a direct relation between the rate of GDP and level of education. If you look at Singapore, if you look at the GDP also, the GDP rate and gross enrollment ratio is a direct relation. When the enrollment ratio increases, the GDP also increases. Most developed countries, it is visible. In India, the gross enrollment ratio is very, very less. And because of that, our economic development also has come down. So because of that, government is planning to provide education to everybody. Same thing, equity and inclusion told you also. Bring back 2 crores out of school children. 2 crores, as per the estimate, it could be more also. They're doing some work, some of them doing child labor, injurious, very hazardous working condition. Then that stage, if you're not given a proper care, I think the quality of human resource will be very bad. So that is one of the key expected outcome. And we talk about 21st century skills in teaching, learning, and assessment. So we are living in the 4th industrial revolution now. People talk about 4th industrial, it's called digital revolution, where digital economy requires a complete new sets of skill and knowledge, which was not earlier not required. And there's kinds of jobs coming up also. We talk about gig economy now. So working from home has become very popular now. Gig economy is I can work for multiple employees at a time. I'm not restrict myself to one job or one organization. So I can get a certificate in around 7-8 skills and I work for 7-8 organizations also. So that is the kind of emerging skill 21st century, and new education policy prepares students for that. School complex, just like a sports complex in different places. Now, in a very mandal panchayat or depending on the number of schools, there will be school complex. A small school may not be able to have a swimming pool, may not be able to have a big indoor games. So these school complexes will provide a shared facility to nearby schools. So world-class facilities, somebody want to play chess, they can go and play. Somebody wants to do some learning exercises. This is all shared facility, clustered facilities are available there. And effective governance, separation from powers and common norms. Now, if you look at the education system, early education system, we have this boards, PU board and CBSE board, and UGC, AACT, medical. So we are under complete grip of the bureaucracy. So that is completely separated now. More autonomy is given to schools, colleges for running their programs. Overcome the language barriers in learning. One of the biggest problem in India was everybody has love for English medium school. But a child, many times in the village areas, they are not familiar with the language. So learning becomes a big difficulty. So new education policy says till 5th standard, education has to be delivered in local language or in the very popular language which is spoken in the area. And common standards for public and private schools in education. I think this is one of the major changes is that now we have 2 set of schools, one government schools and private school. Private schools, they charge very high fees, 5-star comforts, 5-star or 7-star kind of a building, where public schools, no toilets, no desk benches, complete disparity. Now the new education policy says both public and private education institutions should provide similar standards both can charge similar fees based on the facility they provide. One of the changes, if you look at this diagram, old education policy 10+2, that is PUC, and then 3, then 10-2. This pre-education is completely missing. So it was done in a very unscientific way. New education policy says the child care, the foundational stage. They say play and learn. It's not just normally in government school is basically say Pata, Uta, Ota kind of a thing. No, it's not only Pata. You have to Ata, take Pata, then Ota. They have to run also. Then Uta also come together. But this Ata, Uta is gone. Only Pata is there in some of the schools now. They say play, learn, well play, and all those things. So this is, I don't want to get much into that. So I think all of us are aware about this new scheme, 4 years graduation. This is a drastic change which the new education policy talks about. This is the framework. I am focusing more on the basic education, primary education, which is new education policy talks more on this than higher education. Early childhood education, lot of initiatives as mentioned in the new education policy. They're developing curiosity. If we just tell them A for apple, B for ball, I think student curiosity is not why, not the question of asking why it happens, that has to be developed. And art, craft, and music. Music also has to be taught in the beginning, in the play school only. Then they'll help. It help to them understand self identity. So basically, to make student to understand, every individual is a unique gift of God, and one child doesn't resemble another child because our 1% DNA doesn't match another person DNA. It only indicated everyone is a unique gift of God. Everyone comes with a unique set of capabilities, but we don't recognize that. So the new education policy says that enough effort should be made to understand each student unique capability and build on that. So the new education policy says light and tight syllabus. So light syllabus, light school bags, but it is tight. It has a lot of stuff in the minimum subject is offered. Critical thinking, it is again and again policy says the student has to think critically, inquiry, discovery, discussion, self-analysis. It is not teacher-led learning. It should be student-led learning. Student should ask question and teacher has to answer in an interesting way. Interactive classes, interactive teaching with reduced dependency on textbook learning. Questions from student will be promoted. It's called experiential learning. Today we talk about the positive psychology. I read in one of the article that in US, now they started this positive psychology in the school level. So they did an experiment that in primary school, they made it 2 groups. One group was taken to orphanage age every weekend, and they were made to share whatever they have food and play with them, spend time with them. Another group was taken to film theater and watch movies. After 5 years, they could see a visible difference between the behavior of the student who went to orphanage, developed the habit of helping others, mingling with others, inclusive growth, all those things. They were very happy, and they did after 20 years also, they become very good citizens. They obeyed all the rules of the law. They had a good family also. Those who have gone to film every week, watched movies, they had a very disturbed career, had a very disturbed life also. The new education policy is that fun, creative, collaborative, exploratory activities, it is not inside the class. They must taken more to the outdoors. And even the Kalam also, if you look at his study, and Kalam a student, and they had a best mathematics teacher. And one day to Kalam, when he was studying, teacher explained to him how birds fly. He wrote beautifully in the board and how birds fly. At the end of the class, normally asked that, any doubt, have you understood? Everybody said, yes, we understood. But Kalam said, we do not understand not even 1% of what you told in the class. What normally teacher do is he rub entire board and write it again. But he has not done that. So he was, the teacher took Kalam to beach. All the students also, the next day they're all taken to beach, and teacher explained how birds fly. They're demonstrating that on the beach. That day Kalam decided to become a rocket scientist. He started inquiring that how birds fly, what is aerodynamics. That curiosity developed by a teacher in the school could develop one of the best scientists in country. So this primary education, the new education policy talks more on this in the primary education. So this will not skip this. Health checkup, both mental and physical health. Just like every year a student get report card, he must also get health card. So the health checkup is compulsory for every student till he attains age of 16. I'll skip this. Experience in learning, I told you. Holistic progress card, it is not just mark, it is all the talent or the skill, behavior of the innovative behavior of the student also should be recorded in the progress report. 360-degree multi-dimensional reports be given to the teacher. Sorry, the teacher to the student. This is the school complex which is talking about. A very interesting sharing resources, integration of schools into one area, all this brought in cluster of clusters, school complexes, which is shared
Yes,
facility.
I think, sir, can you please share the PPT? I think you have a PPT.
Is PPT I'm sharing now?
No, we are not able to see it. Yeah, can you please?
Not seeing the PPT?
No.
I was sharing the PPT.
Others can see it? No, yeah.
I was sharing PPT all through.
We were not saying it, but we were listening to you.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was nice anyway.
It was nice, yeah.
Very well presented.
Not able to share screen.
We can see the web page, sir.
It's visible now?
Yeah, it's visible, but we can see the web browser.
Only the web page, not the PPT.
Minimize.
Minimize this, sir.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can continue speaking.
Yeah.
I thought you were all seeing my screen and I was going in speed.
Yeah, PPT was not required, sir. It was very informative. Yeah.
Minimize the screen and go for the PPT. Minimize the screen.
Yeah, this is another important aspect of the teachers, the important part of the new education policies, this teacher education. Teachers are the central point of the new education policy. It is 4-year integrated B.Ed and 2-year B.Ed if you're a graduate, and if it's a postgraduate is 1-year B.Ed. A lot of emphasis given on this. And improving teachers' education, there's something called setting up a Prakash. Setting up a National Center for Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. This is one of the key policies of this, and online and digital education, another important aspect. Adult education, lifelong learning. So lifelong learning is like, your learning doesn't end. Multiple entry, multiple exit. Suppose I complete first year of my degree, I go for a job, I work for 5 years, come back to second year after, I have a studied sheet, I show it to college. I not go to same college. I studied in ETech, but first year degree, I left it, I got a scorecard. I go to work for Bengaluru. I go to another college in Bengaluru and learn in the evening. Flexible time. Multiple entry and multiple exit. So it's a lifelong learning. Learning doesn't end. Suppose I complete my 3 years of graduation, 4 years of graduation, and I want to do my PG after 10 years or 15 years. Not the same college, I go to some other colleges. Or I do 1 year of PG, I discontinue it, and go to another places and continue. So multiple entry and multiple exit, so lifelong learning. It's a timeline for education. 10 years, minimum 10 years by 2030. 2030, the new education policy will be implemented. I'm extremely sorry that I was not able to share my PPT. I thought all of could see my PPT. I will anyway send it to all of you.
Yep.
This is a condensed form of new education policy. If my time is up,
You can take. We can take. Sir, you can take 5 more minutes.
yeah, I was talking more on the primary education and the basic education. When we come to higher education, now we have this 3 years of graduation and 2 years of 2 years of post graduation. The new policy says it is 4 years of graduation, or it could be 5 years of integrated program. Whereas, as I told you, that it is multiple entry and multiple exits. Student can join a program, an institute, continue for some time, and take a credit sheet and go back to other colleges. And we are under a tremendous control of this regulatory body called UGC and AICTE in higher education. And medical, you have Medical Council of India. Still the management, and we have 3 streams now. Where we have medical, engineering, and management. The new education policy says that there is no hard and fast rule like this. So you can, a medical student can take one course in management also. A management student can take one course in medical also, like COVID time. So he can take one course in medical science also. So you have multiple options. It's not, if I take a commerce management, I not take only commerce paper. I can take liberal art. I can take music as a one credit. What you do, they say is if you come to do a post-graduation degree, you must have 100 credit in a program. So it's all credit transfer from one program to other program, from one institution to other institution. Looks very interesting, but just like GST implementation, the new education policy also implementation will be very Herculean task, because state government has to cooperate, and without state government cooperation, it is very, very difficult to implement this program. So I stop here. I take few questions, then conclude.
Very
Yeah,
nice
if you have any
presentation.
questions, yes.
Very nice presentation, Dr. Achar. We learned really so many things. I never knew that new education policy is something we should have had long back, in fact, because we would have been better people today.
20 minutes is difficult to explain.
Yeah, but nice. Anyway, one question I had is, what if, now you told this implementation will happen around 2030.
No.
It's quite a long time.
No, 2030 will complete. You must start with basic education, no?
Okay, but what if there is change in the government? So how are things going to shape in this new policy?
It's an amendment of constitution, new education policy, national education policy. Government cannot change like that. They can make some modifications.
So it will be standard even whether there are new other
a new government, if it comes, new party comes into power, they can make modification. They can scrap it.
So this is passed by everybody, like in the. Okay. Nice.
Sir, how are
Unmute
they,
yourself, Shikala.
Yes.
sir, how are they going to say that the private school and everybody, schools which the AC all round and another school with no desks and no toilets, how are they going to make it
It
equal?
is called equity, no? That they have to, that is where the community participation comes in. They say that, like in Europe, all student has to study in a primary school where they are born.
Yeah.
What they do, suppose Colonel Tamaya's son is studying in a place. So he is a place where his son is born. So what he'll do, he will make the school very interesting to everybody. All people who want to put that to children to put in the school, they will develop a school. Suppose for me, I am born in a very backward place in Bandapur. If my daughter has to study there, I'll see that the school also develop. So the new policy says that student has to learn in the local language only. So automatically, in the local area, the school has to develop. It's very difficult task. It's easy to say that there is no disparity between government school and private school. Equitable opportunity given to everybody. But how is going to happen? I think we have to
I mean,
wait and watch.
it's all sounds very, very grand and very, very nice, but practically, I don't know. Parents will be moving from one job to another, going from different places to one another, and our country consists of more than 22 languages. And how are we going to each one talking on the same language? It sounds very, very nice, but I don't know, because in other countries like European countries, most of the countries have got only one language, whereas in our country, how are we going to do?
They say that 3 languages. One is local language, second is regional language, third is the national language.
Okay.
The student has to specialize in 3 languages, but up to 5th standard is only local language. Then has to be taught in the regional language and the national language.
What is regional language means? Okay, fine.
3 languages.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It was a really wonderful talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I apologize for not sharing the PPT.
No, that's fine. I think it was very nice just listening to you.
Better, I think, without the PPT.
Thank you so much. After a long time, I got an opportunity to see all of you.
Yeah. Please join us every meeting.
New education policy will develop more Rotarians because they talk more about inclusive social sensitivity, positive psychology. I hope more Renus and Dr. Girija kind of people emerge in the education policy.
Thank you, sir. Please come. Please come for the meeting, sir. We miss listening to you.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Please join us. Make it a point to join.
Also, I apology for leaving the meeting.
Yeah. There is.
Oh.
Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hope it comes into effect.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Implementation is important, but nicely presented.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. So many things we learned. Nice.
And now I request today's meeting coordinator, Rotarian Abhishek Rao, to deliver vote of thanks.
Nice intro by Abhishek as well.
Yes. Abhishek?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was great to listen to Dr. A.P. Achar, sir, and he briefing about the new education policy, what the government is looking, the purpose, the objective, and the way forward of this education policy, which would change the education system of our country, and we would look this in a more brighter way. We should, on behalf of Rotary Manipal, I thank Dr. A.P. Achar, sir, for joining us and gracing this occasion. I think today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage all of us, and also